What's up, folks? This is Asteroot. So, it's been a little while since I've talked about Xzibit, so I'm going to talk about his Man vs. Machine, and I'm going to talk about the skits on that project. The surprising thing about this project is just the fact that there's a Paul Rosenberg skit on here, which kind of has like the Eminem aesthetic, which I like. And that was kind of the thing when you pay attention to Man vs. Machine, there was tons of like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem influence on there. Nate Dogg's on there twice. Dr. Dre's on there. Snoop's on there. Eminem's on there. Dr. Dre Productions on there. There's just a bunch of California and good time music for that sort of thing. The only thing really missing was just maybe 50 Cent, but other than that, there was just about everything on there. And so the Paul Rosenberg skit is basically just like something that would be on an Eminem project, except this time Xzibit apparently went to Las Vegas, pulled a crap ton of women. They said over 10 went somewhere, and then no one knows what happened to them. So that was interesting. I like the idea behind that. Is going to Las Vegas and going, who knows the hell where. Who knows if Xzibit was under the influence, if he even remembers that night, how much money he spent, all the women that might have been in that circumference. I mean, there's plenty of ideas behind, that's definitely a skit that I wish would have been elaborated on. A second Paul skit talking about the aftermath, like, dude, I told you not to go out and do this sort of shit. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Something like that would be, but for what it was, I'm glad that that was on there. And then the bitch ass nigga skit, there's only two of them, but to talk specifically about that, it's Eddie Griffin on here, so that's a nice touch, is being able to get him. And I would basically have to say that it's kind of funny, but I kept waiting for like the skit to hit the nail on the head. I suppose it mostly did it, but it's just talking from a reference as far as saying, these are just male groupies who are annoying and you don't like it all. Basically, you know, uh, coat tailors, that sort of people looking for handouts, that sort of thing. Which I agree with the skit. I definitely am in agreement with it, but I felt like maybe Eddie Griffin should have insulted those dudes a little bit more. That's kind of the thing. I mean, for 2002, it's like, yeah, I agree with that. Just the way, I mean, obviously, that was kind of the concept, was making fun of these people. They said that they try to get to their shows early and or get to go backstage and then show up at their house bothering them. There's a lot of crap, that sort of thing. I did like the detection behind it. I mean, both the skits were clever just because it offered an extra emphasis on Xzibit, and that's kind of like the main thing, is that happened to be interesting just because the Man vs. Machine album is not perfect, and it's actually a decent way away from perfect. And I'd probably give it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I mean, there's songs like Multiply, My Name, Choke Me, Spank Me, and maybe a couple other ones. But out of 16 songs or 14 songs, I mean, it's still. But that's just kind of the thing. I mean, the skits definitely boosted up the value of this project. So that's the thing, especially the Paul skit. That's kind of the thing. I wish that they would have gotten a skit from Eminem or something. I would have liked to have heard his voice on there. Dr. Dre, I don't know how well he does skits, but just kind of under that premise. I mean, there needed to be more stuff like that. Maybe Xzibit. If there would have been like a Ken Kniff type skit on there, I think Xzibit probably would have fucked around and just killed Ken Kniff. He wouldn't have put up with that. But obviously, this is extra humor. I feel like Eminem needed to give him a couple pages out of his playbook to allow for that to kind of happen. This is kind of the main thing, is just trying to get that sort of thing done. But obviously, the point being, I'll give the skits a 10 just because they were both decent. The only reason why this wouldn't get a 10 is just because there's not more of them. But maybe Xzibit wanted this project to be compact. So I give the two skits that are on there a 10, but if we're just trying to say how short it was, it's more like an 8.5 or a 9, just because there's only two. This is kind of the main thing. So, But for what it is, I think folks will like those for those that forgot or haven't heard them.